Yeah. Ay. Yeah. Ay. Yeah. Boys. Yeah. Hold on. We them boys.
Hey YouTube, it's
Cam
and Sid, and today we're gonna be talking to you guys about my labor and delivery that took a turn. Some of you may know that we chose to have an all-natural birth, and we wanted to do a water birth. We chose to do that with the midwife center. In order to proceed with the water birth, you can't have like any complications, and you have to reach 37 weeks.
37 weeks for them is considered full term. So that's why we had to reach 37 weeks.
Yeah. So we definitely reached that. We were 40 weeks and 6 days. Everybody was like, when are you gonna have a baby? When are you gonna have a baby? And I'm like, I don't know, whenever she comes. When I thought my water broke before, how far along was that?
We were definitely at 37 weeks. We had reached that 37 week mark already.
We were like a little bit past that. Yeah, and I thought my water broke.
Yeah, it wasn't too far after 37 weeks, but it was after 37 weeks.
Well, I thought my water broke in the middle of the night, and I went and sat on the toilet, and apparently it was pee, but I was on the toilet peeing for like 40 minutes. So I was like, how is this? And it was consistently coming out, so I was like, okay, I guess not. But it definitely wasn't my water, because when my water broke for real, definitely knew that, and I definitely felt that.
Bittersweet.
Yeah.
I was ready to sleep out.
He was asleep. Anyways, so yes, you were. You were falling asleep at the midwife center. Okay, so in the midwife center, it's like a suite. So it has like this big jacuzzi tub and like a queen size bed.
Something like that. I was
queen
sleep on
size,
that thing.
a queen size bed, like this little kitchen area, a bathroom, a really nice hot shower, with all these things that you can that will help you speed up your labor.
I wish we could have took a shower. They were fresh or something.
It was so nice, and I would have gave birth in there. I'm just like, yeah. I spent the majority of my labor in that shower. So
sauna.
yeah, it was so nice, but it helped like calm down my contractions, so it was really nice.
It was April 8th, so it started like early in the morning, April 8th, like morning.
Middle of the night.
Yeah, like around the time I go to work.
Okay.
Cause
well,
I didn't go to work that morning. I remember. So yeah.
Okay, so I waited. I called my midwife, and I was, checking in with them. I wanted to make sure my contractions were 5 minutes apart. I wanted them to be more consistent, and I didn't feel like it was time for me to go in yet because it just didn't seem that serious. So I just kind of stuck out the night and called in the morning. I made an appointment in the morning. I went in on the 9th of April. I checked my dilation, and I was 4 centimeters dilated. So after that, they're like, well, we can go ahead and take you to your room. I went to my room and was on the little medicine ball, did a little bit of walking.
So when we went in on April 9th, and she was 4 centimeters dilated, before that, at 40 weeks, we was 1 centimeter dilated still.
Oh yeah, I had to take these capsules to soften my cervix.
We were at that point, we were like disappointed, because we weren't disappointed, but we were
basically like, how are we this fall? How are we full term? And
still 1 centimeter dilated.
Yeah, like how is this gonna work? And she dropped really low. So I was like, I don't know. So, I thought I would have been more dilated.
What it was her cervix was too thick.
But that was like 3 weeks before my birth.
Correct.
We got admitted to our little room, our little suite or whatever. And I sat in the rocking chair a lot because every time I went to stand up, I had like a really strong contraction. It was like she didn't want me to get up. I was in and out of the shower. The hot shower, it was just so nice. I almost gave birth on the toilet though. It was easier to breathe through my contractions on the toilet. So my water broke on the toilet. I was sitting on the toilet and I was like, I felt something coming out. I was like, is that her head? And then I was in the bathroom with the midwife and she was like, I was like, something is coming out. Like, I started freaking out because I thought that she was coming out and I was on the toilet. So I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to give birth in the toilet. Meanwhile, he's asleep on the bed and I'm like telling him to wake up because I'm like, I think she's coming, I think she's coming. Come to find out, she goes to look and my water broke in her face, literally. And it just like got the fluid all over the floor and some in the toilet or whatever. But yeah, so my water broke. We went in there at, well, 11 in the morning. Yeah, in the morning. My water didn't break until midnight on the 10th. And then, so I was like, okay. So I get back in the tub for the water birth. And, you know, keep in mind, I had actually been in the tub for hours. Yeah, going through contractions and stuff.
Like so long to the point where I was in there too. But we were in there so long.
I'll show a little clip.
Point where it was like, you know how your hands be all like wrinkled
and soggy
from being in the pool too long? That's how long we were in there.
Yeah, so we were in there for a really long time. And
we were back and forth getting out.
And trying different things to try to speed up this process. We're constantly checking the baby's heart rate. And that was what brought a concern. So I was just kind of in a different world, trying to, you know, breathe through the contractions. So I wasn't really paying attention to nobody in the room but the contractions.
Right.
And then next thing you know, like, I kind of snap out of it because there's a lot of panic going on in the room and they're like concerned about her heart rate. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? Next thing you know, they're dramatically like, it keeps dropping dramatically, it keeps dropping dramatically. And I'm like, okay. So then, I don't know where they're pulling me out of the tub and dragging me onto the bed. And they're trying to get me to do like these different positions to like, I guess, move the baby because they thought that it was like the positioning of her head or something. They just felt that it wasn't safe to deliver the baby at the midwife center. And keep in mind, I'm like 9.5 centimeters dilated. So she was about to come out. And I'm like thinking that we about to, you know, we made it to this point. We done passed all the milestones. Like, we're about to have this birth the way we want it. Like, natural water birth, everything.
Easy,
like,
peaceful environment.
It was so peaceful in there.
We had the meditation music going.
Yeah.
You know, the lights were dimmed. It was just us and we were at peace with ourselves and what we had going on.
After that, it got traumatic. So I'm on the bed and they're like, you know, there's just more panic and I don't really know what's going on because like the whole time I'm going through these contractions and I'm like just trying to breathe. The midwife goes, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, you're sorry for what? And she's like, we're gonna have to take you to the hospital. And I was like, what? The hospital? Keep in mind, this whole birth we're trying to avoid the hospital.
The whole time.
So yeah, that was definitely not what I wanted. Around 1:30, I end up in an ambulance and I'm on the way to the hospital.
Right. I had to follow them on the ambulance and I couldn't be in the ambulance with her. The midwife had to be in the ambulance with her. And
I'm freaking out.
On the way there, I'm like running red lights. I'm behind the ambulance and everything. I got my emergency lights on. I'm running red lights. And then we get there, and I don't know how our process was getting in there, but
I get there and they take me off the stretcher, throw me on the dang on bed. They swab me for COVID, and then they put an oxygen mask on my face, which I could not breathe through my contractions with on, but the oxygen was apparently for her. They keep trying to put me in different positions. Once again, they attach me to all these monitors.
She was already in there. Like, she was in there on all this stuff before I came. When I got there, they told me to go through the emergency at Memorial to get up there. So when I get there, I'm like, hey, my wife is, you know what I'm saying, she's having a baby right now. They told me to come through the emergency room. And, you know, I need to hurry up and bring this through. Let me get up there. So when I tell them what's going on, they like, you know, hey, she's not.
I wasn't in the system
She's not
yet.
in the system yet. So I'm like, okay, I'm waiting. They checked again. She's up there. I'm like, now they're trying to find somebody to like direct me up the wherever I'm supposed to be going at. So that's when I got up there and I just see her with everything.
They attached me to all these monitors. They had to like insert fluid because my water had already broken. So every time I contracted, like, this fluid is just coming out of me. And I went to go use the bathroom, and then I just walked out the bathroom because I was just like, never mind. I had too many things attached to me. It was just not gonna work. It was just very uncomfortable. At this point, my contractions have no break in between. And they're just constant, strong, and I'm freaking out. He comes in there and he's like feeling so bad for me, and he don't really know what to say or do.
I when I first got there, I started, you know, I was over there holding her hand while she was contracting, just talking to her.
I wanted to give up so bad.
Keep her up in good spirits. And
it was so painful. Like,
it was painful for me seeing her go through like everything, because I know she was like just out of it. And so I was really exhausted at that point. Like, I had been in labor all day, like literally all day. Yeah. So, you know, we're approaching 2 o'clock in the morning, probably like 2:30ish, and they're trying to do everything that they can do. They're still checking the baby's heart rate and stuff like that, and they notice that it just keeps going down dramatically. Like, I'm talking like 30, 20, and I'm like looking at that on the screen, freaking out and panicking, because I'm like, I can't breathe with this oxygen mask on. All while contracting.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, like, it was really traumatic, because I'm like, I don't want my breathing to affect her.
Correct.
Like, I don't want to be the reason that something bad happens. So, you know, I keep hearing C-section, and I'm like, yo, that's definitely not what I want. Definitely not. That's the complete opposite of what we were going for here. And next thing you know, the midwife comes up to me, and at this point, I'm just completely done with it. And she was like, you know, she starts talking about the C-section and how it'd be the best thing or whatever. And I was like, you know what? If that's what we're gonna do, let's go and do it right now. So I didn't want to waste no more time. I was in a lot of pain. Like, keep in mind, I'm like natural the whole time. And so they wheeled me back to the room for the C-section. They switched me on to a different little bed. They gave me a shot in my back, which wasn't epidural, but it was much stronger. It lasted 13 hours, and it numbed me from like the middle of my chest down to my toes. I go and have a C-section. They were constantly like pumping all this medication into me, so it was like causing me to be really nauseous. Like, I could taste the medicine. I ended up throwing up, and while I was laying down having the C-section, he got to be in the room for that. He got to see the baby before I did. I don't take like medicine or anything, so I was having a really hard time trying to like bounce back, to try to get through the whole process. I don't know, it was just really traumatic. Moral of the story is, we wanted an all-natural birth, which we pretty much got for the most part, but we wanted the water birth and ended up in a C-section. So this Saturday, the baby will be 1 month old, and she's gorgeous. She is the most beautiful baby I ever met. She's such a sweetheart. She came out with a head full of hair, and she looks just like her dad. Like, literally, nothing like me.
I'll see a little bit of her.
You guys will see her soon, but she is her daddy's twin. She has the cutest little dimples, and her smile will make your heart melt. Her name is Baylin Aviana Mosley.
Bam, that's my baby.
And you will see her a lot on this channel.
You will.
Most definitely.
She will probably be the star.
She has crazy personality, so
yeah.
definitely she will be the star of this. No doubt she'll take over. Period. So
y'all can fall in love with her.
She's taking a nap right now.
Cause I fell in love with her.
I did too.
That's my baby.
But she's taking a nap right now, so she's not gonna make it in this video, but definitely the next one. The next one we're probably gonna do for Mother's Day, like a Mother's Day shoot, and we'll include pictures of that as well and vlog that. So welcome to our channel, and thanks for watching our first video. Yeah. We are.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was it.
I appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Subscribe, and we'll have more videos soon.
Comment, and please stay tuned, and always be yourself.
Definitely.
Always.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Ay. Yeah. Ay. Yeah. Boys. Yeah. Holla, 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 we making noise. Holla,